Yeah, I figured that was the best way to open up the last very ever Berserk recording session until they make a new game in like 5 years, in which case I may or may not even do it, who knows. Anyway, what's up guys, Bob here. Welcome to the finale of Berserk in the Band of the Boingo. So as you saw last time, obviously we're leading up to the Millennium Falcon arc. Now, of course, before we go any further, I should mention that since this is a Berserk marathon that I'm doing, and this is the last ever recording for it, oh god, I've been doing this since I think May, holy shit. I would like to point out that if anyone wants a good game adaptation of the Millennium Falcon arc, as well as just a good adaptation in general, honestly, despite the fact that I think the general opinions of the anime 2016 productions for the Berserk series is overblown, I think that that game genuinely does tell the story better than the anime in 2017 does. Partly because it also doesn't try to skip anything. In fact, it adds to it, which is all the much more better. So, yeah, this is obviously going to be a recap of the Millennium Falcon territory. If you want a better recap of it, I recommend the PS2 game. It is really good. It even gives you more. I like how I can say that now. I've actually played a lot of Berserk games. That is very weird to think. Am I going to be a respected member of the Berzoingo community? That would be a weird thought. Also, fun fact, I know obviously it takes like 2 or 3 months for what I record to hit YouTube, obviously because of my upload schedule, but what are we, 2 days away? Yeah, supposedly we are currently like 2 or 3 days away from a new Berserk chapter dropping. I'm surprised I didn't mention this last time, actually. I might have, maybe I did, I don't remember. There's a large gap in between each recordings these days, or at least like a lot of things happening. Yeah, there's a new chapter dropping 22nd, and it's going to be, oh god, if it doesn't open up with Skull Knight just saying he's fucking King Geisric, I'm gonna shit myself, because that's literally how the last 3 chapters have been leading up to, you know, between the leader of Skellig Island saying Your Majesty, the dwarf Smith saying Your Majesty, or King, and the flashback directly leading up that, yeah, Skull Knight was in that thing once, and he was probably King Geisric. Just let it happen, please. Just let it fucking happen. Anyway, sorry, unrelated. So, I'm also gonna say one thing really fast. Upon recapping the Conviction arc, the Millennium Falcon arc, with my current readings of the Fantasia arc, having my multiple watches of the Golden Age arc, involuntarily sometimes, and my 2 experiences, I guess, with the Black Swordsman arc, you know, this game and among itself, I think I might actually label the Millennium Falcon arc as my favorite arc in Berserk. Alex has been mentioning that he thinks the Conviction arc is his favorite, and I do respect that. I see why people do like it. I just think it has problems in its structure that holds it back a little bit. Meanwhile, Millennium Falcon, I feel like, tackles enough subject matter and gets so indulgent into its own lore and mythos and representing real shit, or like real beliefs and culture in the series itself, that I honestly think Millennium Falcon is the best one. It can also just be because that Guts' growth as a character is just like reaching its zenith. He is now best dad. Well, not at this point he's not. Like it's around the time when he actually gets the Berserk armor that he's definitely best dad, like unequivocally. Especially with Shirke. God damn, those 2 are adorable. So, let's just go ahead and start. Starting with, you know, the infamous Hill of Swords. I'm not going to say Sword of Hills. I'm going to avoid that because of my dyslexia. Yeah. So, we're starting with this. Immediately, people are going to pounce on, haha, the PS2 game did it better than the anime did. Okay. I'm going to say something. It's really more on the license owner's, it's really the license owner's fault for making the call for this animation studio who's only ever done TQ before to do Berserk, and in a totally 3D format, no less. That is 100% their fault. I do not blame the animation studio whatsoever, because that was a bad call. That project was doomed to fail from the start. If I'm being honest, like outside of the iffy animation a lot of the time, and you know, choreography, in the 2017 anime, I honestly think that the sound design's great. It tells the story well. Music's great. It's literally just the animation that like really shits the bed. But that's just me. Anyway, we're just starting with this. I think we are. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything when we jump into this, because this is going to be intriguing. Give me a minute. Let's see, we are in story mode? Yeah, we are in story mode. Okay, it just doesn't open with the cutscene then. That's interesting. Outfits, default, obviously. Oh, cool, I didn't even notice that. The default outfit for this one is actually Guts without the cape on. And if I gotta say, I do still love like the skeletal look of the original Black Swordsman armor. It does look really sick. This is like the idea of like a knight armor taken to like the darkest level, and it works so well. This is fucking great. And also, like, genuinely, I don't think this armor is anywhere else in the game. Like, we got Black Swordsman, but then we kind of just jump right to Berserker armor, Beast of Darkness, and the okay, that was unlockable. Also unlockable. DLC. Yeah, no, it's completely unique. That's awesome. Let me just make sure I got it equipped. Awesome. Sweet. I'm not complaining, I guess. Weird. Okay, and also luckily I've already gone through and amalgamated all of my loose shit into one. So hopefully I don't end up getting 80 plus accessories by the end of the Millennium Falcon arc. Oh, fuck, that's right. So I did a head count. The amount of chapters that are in the Millennium Falcon arc for this game, because it doesn't just end at the Berserker armor. It goes a little beyond that. You'll find some interesting things here and there. 13 missions total versus the 8 for Conviction arc, 4 for Black Swordsman, piddly, and 21 for the Golden Age. Gee, I wonder where the budget went. Well, I say quote unquote budget, but really they kind of just edited down a lot of footage, and that is a lot less time consuming than making brand new animation. I should know. Oh boy. Okay. Stop playing around. So obviously this is the cliffhanger from before. So the Hill of Swords. I think the scene is a bit overplayed or overhyped, overrated. I don't think it's the be-all end-all of symbolism for Berserk, but it is it is worth noting that I think this is the very first meeting that Guts and Griffith have had. If you don't count the time he met him as Femto during the Slug Count arc, weirdly, I guess, I don't know. In like 10 years? Close to 10 years. There was definitely the entire Conviction arc where they didn't meet or say anything. This is the first time that Guts is actually confronting Griffith, and this is the first time Griffith is saying anything. Again, if you don't count the Slug Count. The Slug Count, I could definitely... You know, this is why Berserk isn't a completely perfect package from start to finish, because the whole meeting with the God Hand during the Black Swordsman arc early on in Berserk really did kind of dampen the effect of this scene a little bit. If you ignore the Black Swordsman arc, then yeah, this is a bit more impactful, but not quite. But this is the very first time that they're saying words directly. Also, are you noticing... A reminder that Griffith, as a man we know him, is dead. This is Femto. Like, this is literally like a facade human getup that Femto is wearing in the real world as a vessel in order to manifest. Like, I am fully convinced that the man we know as Griffith died during the eclipse. This is literally just Femto, who is Griffith with all the emotions actually cast aside, who did prefer to sacrifice the Band of the Hawk over keeping him alive for his dream, but nah, he's gone. Capital letters. But it is definitely worth noting, however, that you can obviously see the non-human features in Griffith. You know, the ethereally long hair, the insanely drawn eyes. Like, they're not even hawk eyes or falcon eyes. They're just slits now, and that's even more eerie. Like the manga art does a pretty good job of portraying that, but here it's even more striking. And of course, the added symbolism of them meeting at the ceremonial gravesite of the Band of the Hawk. But like, that's a face. But like, literally, how does... I know causality and all that gay shit, but how the hell did Griffith know to come here? Like, obviously, being a god hand, he's privy to a lot of information, but I don't think it's ever addressed. He just comes here outright after leaving with Zod and supposedly getting a new change of clothes because he's not just going around naked. Anyway, so bookmarking that conversation for a little bit. Anyway, yeah, it's Hill of Swords with Zod. God, I love his look here. It's really cool. I need to remember how to play this game momentarily. I've been too busy with Skyrim and other stuff with Brandon. I imagine that the secret project we're doing is probably going up at the time you're watching this. I can only hope so. It's our big project for 2021, the series that we really want to get you guys into. If it's not up by now, like, yeah, we're working on something. We already got one game down. We're working on some more in the coming future, so yeah. Anyway, subscribe to me on Patreon if you want to know what that is. I'm going to sound like an asshole if it's already out, and I'm kind of making myself sound like an idiot. Anyways, yeah, Zod Berserk is not hard. His base moveset is still like his 2 sub-weapons, I think, and literally like the 4 slashes. Black Swordsman Guts is more than capable of dismantling this form of Guts into your gameplay. It's also worth noting like the implications of this actually in story. Because I want you guys to remember the last time Guts and Zod fought each other, what was directly was, back during the Golden Age in that one tower that was kind of filled with dead men. Yeah, whoa, I didn't even have that move. Interesting. Last time, Guts was lucky to get one single shot in and not die immediately to regular form Zod, but not even Apostle form. Apostle form happened and Guts stayed alive, but he was losing badly. You know this directly, actually, because of the anime cutscenes included with this game, funny enough. But no, literally, this time, however, since about to call him Berserk again, fuck. Since Guts has been training nonstop for 2 years, essentially, well, okay. First, there was the 1 year training he did to try to fight Zod before the eclipse happened. When he fucked off to the mountains to just train for a year. And then the 2 years of him nonstop killing apostles and demons. During the Black Swordsman arc, with like Rosine's on his belt right now, he's dealt with Mozgus, he's dealt with the Slug Count, dealt with Snake Baron? I think that's what we're just kind of calling him now. Between all his battles and all the non-stop training he's done with and wielding the Dragon Slayer, he actually does take the fight pretty well to human form, quote-unquote, Zod. Which is fucking amazing considering remembering that, how strong he is. Also, yeah, if you remember anything for the PS2 game, the PS2 game didn't showcase the actual like animation or manga. It was just like more of a collective bunch of stuff. It was really fun. The choreography for this fight is actually beautiful. Like with all the with Zod fighting with all the swords that were created by Ricker on the ground, and them just playing with that and the speed of everything, it's really good. Even if it is remarkably short. But that is Berserk for you. With the amount of work that Miura puts into the anime, into the detail for every single thing that happens, we'd probably be here for the rest of our natural lives if he went through with every single fight being on par like Dragon Ball. Oh god, did nothing. So Apostle Form Zod, however, is a little more tricky, but there's a couple of tricks to dealing with him in a fairly concise span. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, that didn't work. Oops. I'm probably going to be running around with low health for a lot of this. So essentially with Apostle Form Zod, he plays exactly the same as he did before. The big thing you want to watch out for is that fucking tail swipe he has, because the hitbox is borderline like everywhere around him. Like you can't sidewalk that. And I think it's delayed here for some weird reason with the hit effect. I have no idea what's up with that. Going for it again. Really, the idea is to play just like general footsies. If you played any Soulsborne game whatsoever, you're probably familiar with like this attack strategy. Get in close, steal a couple hits, back up, wait for an opening, do something daring every once in a while. If I knew how to do parries, I might go for them. This game does have sort of just guards, but I don't know how to do them, so I'm not going to go try it. Let me just go ahead and go Berserk. Again, remember, the Berserk... Let me remind myself what the hell this term actually is. I'm going to sound like a complete fucking asshole if I keep doing it. Controls? Frenzy, that was it. Well, it's not... It's essentially the same thing as Berserk, let's be honest here. Remember, you're 100% invincible while under Frenzy. So that is incredibly good. Also, watch out for the wake up. See the shockwave? Not really a shockwave here, luckily. And he goes for one of his other sub-weapon moves. I would like to showcase Zod a little bit if I possibly can, because he is really fun. A very small moveset, but very destructive, so that's really neat. However, the light attacks are pretty much unreactable that he has. Like, the tail swipe is super easy to react to. It looks like he's definitely more utilizing charge moves now. Let me go and pop this. But yeah, this should hopefully give you a good leg up when if you're trying to fight Zod, like in any other difficulty, like normal or hard. He's not too bad. Just play patiently and you're pretty much fine. Like obviously if I were a little more usable and brought along like the Berserk armor, this would be a cinch, but nah, that's not quite. But yeah, Zod is a remarkably honest boss fight versus a fucking Snake Baron. Shockwave, that's 360. The hitbox lingers for a long time, so you want to be careful about that. Whoop! Okay. I swear it has a hitbox that hits behind him too. Okay, going again. These take a long time to whittle down too. Holy shit. Let me use Horse Slayer, fuck it. Combo to this, fuck it. That does nothing though. That's like the longest recharge movie he has too, and it just does nothing. Let's go for this. And this is the only one of the few hint things we have that Griffith might not be entirely in control of his vessel. Obviously, you saw before with the Conviction arc where the Egg of the Perfect World, for some weird reason, decided to take in Casca's child. Now there's debate going back and forth if, like the summation of Griffith's vessel is the Moonlight Child slash Guts and Casca's baby. Or if it's just like a portion of it, and that's why it only comes out during like Moonlit Nights. It's later explained that Moonlit Nights are like most powerful for, where magical creatures in Berserk get like a power boost, and that's not a unique thing in Berserk. That's pretty common in like pagan mythology, various other mythology, stuff like that, where like Moonlit Nights are seen as like magical, and like people get like attack boosts and stuff like that. If you've seen anything for like, I don't know, Type Moon stories, you'll probably see that same thing. Obviously, we'll talk more about the Moonlight Boy later, but actually, we might not. Funny thing, the Moonlight Boy is not present whatsoever in this game, nor is he present whatsoever in the anime. Weird thing to exclude, but I get it. Wanting to draw a little boy with a little boy penis, I get that. That might not be a thing you want to showcase to maintain your broadcast rights, but hey, it's a slightly important. You could just give him clothes or like rags or something. I don't fucking know. Miura is not that protective of his overall vision. Trust me, I know this because of the Dreamcast game and the PS2 game. That's a Shockwave. The Shockwave doesn't do a lot of damage, by the way. Am I actually playing perfectly against Zod right now? That's kind of amazing. Oh, he actually went for the tail finish. I am on death's door. Oh boy. Let's just go for this. There we go. That took a lot longer than I thought it would, and not a good indicator of what's to come. I'll see that's animated. It's still a damn shame that the PS2 game does a much better job with showcasing this fight, because once it happens in the anime and manga, it's not really even a fight anymore. Literally what happens is like, I think Guts goes to slash him one time, and Zod grabs it, tosses him away, tries charging at him, misses, and hits the mine. That's all that happens in that exchange between Apostle Form Zod and Guts. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's about the extent of what you'd expect them to go through right now. It's also an indicator that, hey, maybe we should get Guts a power-up of some kind. Oh yeah, this. A lot of mixed emotions going on with this one. And a lot of weird things that is not being said. Such as the following. Did Griffith do that by himself because he wanted to? Because there's lingering feelings for Casca? Did the Moonlight Boy slash his vessel do that? There's a lot of questions here that aren't being answered. And I hope will be explored sometime in the next 5 years. That would be nice. Miura, maybe. Anyway, but yeah, this is remarkably animated. This game does such a good job of showcasing like snow. It's so nice. Kind of does make me want to keep playing the Attack on Titan game so I can see if there's anything else like nice like this. That'd be cool. Look, if you cherry pick everything else out of the equation and literally just look at what Griffith is trying to do, theoretically, Nothing's changed. Theoretically, but everything else around Griffith has changed to such an extent. Yeah. So here's an interesting fact. No one else in the world besides Guts and, well, I guess what was once Casca knows what happened in the eclipse. Rickard doesn't know, Skull Knight has an idea what happened, or he already knows. No one else knows what happened in there. So, when Rickard was, who was, of course, the last of the Berserk, what was I about to say? Who was the last of the Band of Hawk is told about what happens in there, everything suddenly makes sense to him. How could he do that? You've seen how steadfast he is in wanting to get his dream. And now Rickard is feeling all that guilt and no longer being like, you're the one who left! Yeah. Admittedly, the best answer Guts could have possibly given. Well, that's not quite the right translation. The actual good translation we had was, you can never hate Griffith like I can, or like I do. Because you didn't live it, you know? Like, you have an idea, you were told what happened by Guts, and you have an idea what transpired, but you didn't have all that shit happen in front of you. Guts has been steeped in this crap for literally this amount of time, so, yeah. Oh yeah, they probably shouldn't stay in one area for too long, huh? So the original plan was for them to just kind of live in Goto's mind, because it was once a location where elves inhabited, so supposedly it was magical and would repel demons, so that's good. At least keep out the common spirits. But the problem is Zod kind of ran into it, so no more mine. And as a result, no more plans for retirement, so what do we do now? Pugov was in, hey, why don't we go to my home, Skellig? Elfhelm. The island is Skellig, the actual kingdom itself is Elfhelm. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah. Also, funny thing, I'm pretty sure No, it was Elfheim that was the second major game that was released for Sora Online, you know, in Season 1. God, that was a weird connection to make.